Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL Pro League Season 4. This is the North American Division. We're joining you a little bit late here in the Immortals versus NRG match. This was NRG's pick on Overpass here. And so far, Immortals have taken the first 2 rounds on their T side. I'm Jim and Esso. Joining me has been PDG. Pete, we're in for some hot NA action here. And it started off with an absolute bang for Immortals so far.
Yeah, unfortunately, just some GoTV issues preventing us from joining this one right from the word go, but rest assured we're here for the rest of the way. Immortals already up 2-0 upon entering NRG's pick. Of course, it's Overpass. On the NRG side of things, Tabson, Fugly, Peter, Gobby, and Leisure versus Lucas, Henny, this Fel, Zeus, and Bolts. So that is a good start here for the Immortals guys who would be favoured rolling into this series. I think, Jim, I think it's very agreeable that they're going to be the favourites here. They're definitely the mini SK, mini Brazil, up on display.
That they are. I think a few people are going to be triggered by the flags that are actually on display. NRG displaying the British flag and Immortals displaying an NA flag. So I think they're being just inadvertently claimed by North America there, whereas NRG have just been shipped to the UK. So, look, either way, Immortals off to a good start. They've navigated themselves through the anti-ecos quite well. It was Tabson that actually managed to save an AK out. So he's helped bolster the CT economy, albeit only a little bit. But nonetheless, a gun round coming out for both these teams here. You can see Immortals actually taking control of short early on, and that's a key contest area for most of the teams that do quite well on Overpass. You can see they placed a premium on taking it. NRG, on the other hand, have been quite content to actually give control of this area to them.
Absolutely, there's got to be some give and take in a map like Overpass as Tabson just nails fell through the wall there. The Immortals player goes down. Crazy spam there early on from Tabson, who has been up and down, but can very much affect the outcome of the game as Bolts grabs that return frag, and he'll go down as one of more of the NRG players pushes short and makes their presence felt. Now Henny there with the rope-a-dope walking scope, walking up short there and just scoping out and having a look at what's in the A bomb slide. But you can see the NRG player there pushing all the way through B, and they're going to have a pretty good idea of where the action's going to come in here. But at the moment, Immortals just content with sitting around and waiting for NRG to give them another pick.
Yeah, he's got a lot of information with that push as well, so they're quite set up here, NRG, but they've actually made that call to go back towards the B bomb side. I do believe it's actually Legier that's heard someone move through that area. Peter is actually able to pick up that frag onto Lucas as they get in there, and now it's just all to do for Zeus. Coach turned player, and we do see him make his way into short. He is crossfired, and Fugly eventually getting that frag, so NRG get their first round on the board.
Yeah, it was a fortuitous start to that round, wasn't it? As Tabson picks up that kill through the wall.
Yeah,
to get the ball rolling for NRG. But it will be the Immortals here rebuying into this one. Lucas just grabbing that Tech 9. Henny with that AWP in hand. And he will continue to try and work his way around the map with that scope. And it will be the double up setup on Peter and Tabson. And it will be Peter opening up the account. But Zeus has pushed through the smoke here to try and get the counter. But Peter's aware of the danger. Picks up the second kill. And a great start to the round for NRG.
There's a huge opening there for NRG. Peter doing some work with that AWP. He's been a little bit inconsistent with it at times, but just showing his potential there in the early exchanges of that round. And now it's left Immortals with a 2-man deficit to overcome, and you can see that they're just trying to wait out, see any CT aggression coming out, but at the moment, NRG have that man advantage. There's no need for them to push anywhere at all. In fact, they can just consolidate the bomb sites and try and hold as they are. But Bolts trying to make something happen for the team there. He does take down Legier in that B bomb site and will quickly fall away.
Yeah, they're going to have to play more off Bolts if he can continue to just pick out that monster tunnel. He's did it last round to no avail, and once again, he's trying to help his team fight from behind in this one to bring them back from the brink. He'll throw a volley of bullets through that timber fence and try and get some damage off. But the NRG guys, as you said, really not that keen on pushing out and trying to get picks here. They're just biding their time. Peter with that flashbang is going to pick towards long. No, he hasn't done that one just yet. He's still desperately trying to find kill. The flash comes over and they're going to be alerted to the danger. It will be Peter, but he misses that one. Could be crucial, it is. But it's just the one kill there for Henny that's going to be the outcome. No, wait, that's two. God-B comes in late here. The bomb will go down. Bolts actually picking up the kill with 5 seconds to go. The bomb goes down. Tabson now 2 versus 1. Henny picks up the 3rd kill on his way into the bomb site, and Immortals would look like a desperate situation there. 5 versus 3. Make it work in that A bomb site.
That's some fantastic work in the late round from Henny there with that AWP, just to be able to put that round beyond doubt. Immortals taking that one in the end after losing 2 players early on. Peter will surely be frustrated with his team as scratching his head how they actually lost that, having a 2-man advantage early on, and Bolts just ripping the head off Leisure there at the monster tunnel, and a monster headshot to complement that as well. In the meantime, though, the rest of Immortals are actually really passive in the way that they're playing. So you can see they're very much turtled up near the playground. On the other hand, NRG themselves really spread across the maps. The only real cluster of CTs are actually in that B bomb site. You can see that Tabson and Peter are actually playing very separated. Yeah,
this is a bit of a confusing setup here for NRG, because I just don't see how this setup will possibly win you a round, because everyone's so isolated. There's no way that Immortals are going to lose gun battles to 2 pistols. They had to sort of gamble on one site and I guess risk that the round wasn't going to go their way, stacking A or B. Having 2, P250s at each site really isn't going to be the best prospect for them.
No, it wasn't going to bode too well for them. Tabson actually catches out Phelps in middle there and will take his head off with that Desert Eagle. But in the meantime, the rest of Immortals have actually taken control of this B bomb site. Fugly does go down. Luke is very advanced in his position. We'll take him, and we'll also take God-B as well. So it's only Tabson now. He has that AK to try and save, and he's going to try to distance himself as far away as possible, holding in the bathroom. So we will see Zeus, coach turned player, going on the hunt.
Yeah, all of the Immortals will evacuate now. Great start for them. 4-1 will become 5-1 in just a moment as this bomb ticks down. But Tabson here saving that okay for greener pastures next round, but he can't do it. Zeus able to connect there with a few bullets down the range. 5-1, and right now NRG need to try and amp this one up on their map pick.
And you can see just how much that would have bolstered the NRG economy if they would have managed to save that AK. It's actually Leisure that has the short straw. He has to use that UMP. We know it's actually quite a viable weapon against armor, particularly used if in that close quarters area, but unfortunately may have preferred an AK.
Yeah, Peter there taking advantage of a long spawn. He'll get a lot of information here with that scope up, continuously pushing through this area, trying to find a kill, but he won't because all of the players are at B, and now this is going to trigger a B push. No, it in fact will not. It'll just be Immortals guys slowing it down and finding pick after pick. Fells getting that one there to go for his team. Now Immortals will reset, regroup, and make sure that bomb goes down to B in a timely manner. There it goes. They will go up 6-1 here, and it's a worrying display.
I don't rate that gamble at all, to be honest. That seemingly unnecessary as God-B and Leisure pushed through that smoke. I think they were trying to catch out Immortals as they set themselves up for a B execute, but in the end it really didn't help them at all. Peter goes down, loses an AWP. Fugly now is contending with Phelps here. He does actually take him down in the end, and unfortunately will not be able, at the moment anyway, to save that AWP out because Bolts is right on his tail. He does take him as well, so he's doing a good job, and he will actually secure the AWP as well, but Zeus is underneath that ladder.
Yeah, great stuff there from Immortals. Almost going down, he does. Zeus finds Fugly, goes halfway up the ladder, and then drops down. Kills him with the spam. Nice stuff there, Immortals. Keep this one rolling on, Jim. 6-1. It's now starting to become a little bit worrying.
And that right there is a commentator curse in full effect.
Absolutely. We love to curse.
Off camera.
Off camera, of course.
Family show.
Well, at least not on this particular stream.
There's only so much you can bottle up Australians.
Well, that's right, isn't it? We're a rowdy bunch, but we can concentrate on the task in hand when required. And that's exactly what NRG are going to have to do here, Jim, because they've been put very much behind the 8 ball here in the first 7 rounds. Now, going into round 8, they're going to have to eco here. And this looks like a tactical pause for NRG, which is odd because they're going to go into an eco. So usually you can take attack pause just before a gun round, you know, get that strategy fresh in your team's mind and then just go for it. But here they're taking the time to discuss. So I'll leave that one, though, in the capable hands of God B, someone far more qualified than I to decide when his team requires a tactical pause.
Definitely. No, I think sometimes in these sort of situations it's smart to use it on the CT side, simply because on that T side, if you do need to use the tactical pause, you can use it on an eco round, old school style. Sit around and spawn, because the T side generally will dictate the pace of play on a map like Overpass. So I think if they do need one later in the match, it's probably best that they use it in that sort of style. So yeah, it's 6-1 down on the favoured side. I'm not too sure. I think that gamble on the round where Legia actually had to buy in with that UMP, that double push through the monster tunnel, has really come back to bite them there. It was probably an unnecessary gamble. But I mean, hindsight is 20/20. It's easy for us to sit back and pick apart that decision. But yeah, I'm just not too sure what the overall intent was.
Yes, difficult to understand, especially at the point at which they did it in the round 2. It was very, very early on. It wasn't as if they were waiting and then needed to regain map control after losing an early pick. There was no real structure behind why they did it. It was, as you said, very impromptu and random, but that will be Legia going down to Lucas, rolling in there. Tapsid will pick up 1. That's nice. Shooting with the P250. A couple more required before this really becomes problematic for Immortals, and it in fact is not going to be problematic. It's going to be Peter fighting from the pit. And that will be Henny grabbing the Glock kill, 7-1, and now the gun round from NRG comes in. The AWP straight onto Peter. He's been great with that so far. One round in particular, he was very aggressive and got the job done, but they ended up losing the round anyway. So interesting there for Peter. He needs to switch that one around and make sure that he's available in the last 30 seconds to make those kills.
Yeah, I'm keen to see it in his hands once again. So, I mean, he's been prolific with it, obviously, early on, and he'll be keen to make another impact here. But the change of pace coming out from Immortals, they're going to push him right back into that bomb site with the fast take, the smoke, the Molotov, pushing him right back out of position. And you can see that territory play from Immortals has paid dividends. They've been forced to play back into the bomb site. Only Tabson outstretched there at long in the park, but at least he's got Peter with that AWP to cover him. But Legia gets completely blindsided there from Zeus as they take short fast, and now they're going to force their way onto this B bomb site. Fugly finds a reply. Peter actually gets another frag as well, and it's all coming to a flashpoint here in the bomb site. Yeah,
surprised Peter didn't go for the boost there over the top of the little grey wall. Now a series of Molotov and smoke from Henny will block the progress. CT's back towards the bomb site. The bomb hasn't been planted yet though, so still plenty of time here for NRG to regroup, but that will be Bolts getting yet another headshot moving into the B site. He's on point with his entry fragging. Lucas there, spamming away. He will get 1 and make that 2. Beautiful control there from Lucas. Suppressive fire, keeping the CTs in a very narrow corridor. And once again, NRG, their economy's on the fritz.
Yeah, it's a bitter pill for them to swallow as well, because they did take that tactical timeout, and they didn't really come up with anything too different in that round. I mean, Peter tried to get aggressive again, tried to emulate what worked for him in those first exchanges with that AWP, but he was pushed right out of position. And great recognition there from Immortals to realise that something like that was going to probably happen again, and they really just pushed him out of the area as Phelps now cleans up. Fugly and Peter, they go down. Bolt's holding strong here, and will actually pick up Tabson as well. Looks for the second frag, gets Leisure as well, and now got beat. The in-game leader for NRG is the last one left, and Immortals haven't actually made any moves towards the bomb site just yet.
Not just yet, and I mean, the round's not over, but God B here faces an unenviable task of trying to go 5 versus 1 against Immortals right here. I think the primary objective for him now will be to get a gun and get away with it. So he'll just try and weasel his way around the map and find a little opening there for a frag or two. But forget that. Fells has just come up from behind and give him the old shankaroo.
You had to add a "roo" in there to make it really Australian, didn't you?
You call that a knife? This is a knife.
It's not a knife. It's actually, there's an O in there.
Knife.
Knife.
Yeah. So you've played knifey spoony before then?
Either way, he reaps the reward, and that, of course, is financial there, and a little bit of yoke on Godby's face, but they are putting pressure here on Peter. He's going to be swarmed, but misses that no-scope opportunity, tries to disappear into the smoke. He will actually find a frag onto Zeus, so he's somehow emulated the BGs and stayed alive in that instance, but now you can see there is a lot of broken play across the map, but Tabson's actually been caught out of position. He's been taken down by Lucas there, and now it's back to a 3 versus 3 situation.
Yeah, all squared off here. If you look at the radar up the top, there's almost a mirror image of what's going on between the two teams right now. They're just basically shadowing each other around the map, jostling for position, and just waiting to regroup before eventually they'll go back towards what looks to be the B bomb site, given where the bomb is right now, but that can change in the blink of an eye. Bolts has also had a tendency to want to go towards B as well. He's had a series of great headshots through that monster tunnel, so he's going to be on fire towards that part of the map. He's got his angles worked out, and he's just waiting for the word from Lucas and Henny.
Interesting that Bolts is separated from the pack, though, so it could not, well, work out for them the way that they planned, but you can see now with Fugly going down, the rotation is actually going to come off that B bomb site, so this will play into the hands of Immortals as Henny and both Lucas make their way onto the A bomb site. Great work from there, picking up Godby, and now they're just going to continue to try and push through. Leisure gets the frag, but it is of little consequence at all, as the Immortals are just heaping on the pain here, and NRG are struggling to find the answers.
Yeah, that was a complete meltdown from NRG. They got the first couple of picks and then just systematically got taken out one by one across the map, isolated and eliminated there from Immortals. So yeah, it's not a great look for them, as they're now starting to just bleed rounds that they definitely should be winning. It's just not a matter of Immortals sort of winning these clutches. They're being thoroughly outplayed right now. NRG, Immortals look to be on a whole another level, at least on Overpass, and they're getting the job done right now.
And the pistols come out from NRG, backed up a little bit by some armor as well. But Leishy's playing a very dangerous game. He's actually been caught out a few times already by Bolts, and he's willing to run that gauntlet again. So you can see Peter steps out of the bathroom there. That flash is perfect. He actually capitalizes, grabs Zeus's gun as well. Or actually not able to just yet, but he grabs his life. So it's a successful round already there with Peter taking down one. But you can see now they're very much consolidated behind that smoky mid. That smoke will fade in just a moment, as we do see Fugly using that one way at the chair to try and get himself a frag. Not able to. Does get away. Takes a lot of damage for it, but that grenade takes him down to 1 HP.
Yeah, very close call there for Fugly. He'll go down, I'm sure, in a very short time. But the danger for Immortals here is pretty great, as they're walking into a bit of a stack. That's a nice shot there by Fells as he works his way into the bomb site. He spots a second. Can he get it? No. That's a nice shot there by Tabson. So now 3 versus 4, but these rounds have all gone the way of Immortals so far, and it looks as though the trend will continue as the two terrorists trade in towards the B bomb site. But this is going to be a short push here from the counter terrorists. That's an excellent counter flash there from Bolts, and the plant will go down. The teamwork just reigning supreme there as Peter tried to push in and get the job done, but it will be Tabson and Peter just getting outworked there by the Brazilians. Immortals go up 11-1, and this is a dominant display as NRG. They're reeling backwards, but at least they're going to have a gun round here.
Yeah, one bite of the cherry left, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. They've just been absolutely blown out of the water. Peter, again, with that OWP, if you're looking to make something happen, I don't know whether he's going to go as aggressive as he has in previous rounds. Looking at the radar, he actually has gone all the way down the middle connector as well. So he's going to look to try and catch someone off guard, but you can see that Immortals really haven't committed the numbers there. In fact, they've committed the numbers to the toilet. So Peter's actually able to find the frag there. Tabs and Fugly finding one as well. And Immortals have actually lost numbers early on in the picture here. So this change of pace, this aggression from NRG actually has worked out. It was met with aggression from Immortals as well. So the trades just happened to work out in the favor of NRG and got the bomb down. Henny has been smashed down to 11 HP. And he's a long way from the action at the moment. He actually is able to catch out Fugly. But there's a lot of work to do in this instance. If you can do some damage though and pick up another 2 frags, then that's really where it's going to put NRG's economy on the rocks.
Lots of good work there done by the NRG lads. That's a lot better. They had no hesitation there in the start of the round. They pushed out together as a team. They were able to pick up the kills. Peter in particular has done a great job picking up that first kill of a lot of rounds. They haven't been able to convert just yet, NRG, which they were able to do that round. But, you know, you can see there, he's on 11 kills, and a lot of those are just, you know, 1 kill and then die, or 2 kills, then die. So he's doing a great job right now for his team of getting those kills, but he needs some help.
He does need some help indeed, and you can see now Immortals taking control of that connector, and they are met by Fugly. Picking up the double, he's traded out though. Zeus is able to capture him and take him out swiftly, but the damage has been done, and they have a man advantage at the moment.
They do, but that hasn't meant much in previous rounds. Countless 3 versus 4s and 3 versus 5s won by Immortals already in this engagement. 11-2 is the score, 2 rounds remaining before the end of the half, and it will be now Zeus and Henny, 2 versus 4. And they're going to pick up a free kill there as Leisure just walks into that monster tunnel, and this is going to be dangerous here if this doesn't get done by Tabson. It does though, but once again you can see the financial damage that they have already done here.
Just going for a leisurely stroll, and he gets caught out doing so, but now it's Henny, 2 versus 1 situation, and they know where he is. They know he's in that B bomb site, and surely that information now has been relayed as that bomb is faked out, but no one is making a move here at the moment from NRG. Gobby and Peter, surely this one will be very tough for Henny to make, particularly once he commits that bomb plant. Now with Peter changing his position as well, this is where Henny should be going looking for that frag, trying to make it easier on himself. And he is going to push, misses the shot though. Gobby getting the frag, and you can see NRG actually able to bring 2 AWPs into this next round, and this is the last round of the half.
Certainly is NRG with signs of life, but is it too little too late? I fear the worst for them here as they're just finally starting to get their act together on their CT side. 2 ops in play now, and a complete barrage of grenades there on every single player. Smokes, Molotovs, flashes, the works, and a complete arsenal of weaponry too. So NRG looking in good shape now in this last round of the half, but they very, very much need to win it as Peter puts pressure on the party and short toilet area. But he's going to be isolated with that Molotov and find it very difficult to assist his team. Fugly does get one, but he's been tagged down pretty low. Peter, great pressure here. I don't know why they're not aware of that presence, because he did fire his orb a couple of times from that staircase.
Well, if they choose to ignore him, maybe he'll go away, but the pressure's come in from Immortals. They've made this work in their favor. They've now taken 2 lives away at that A bomb site. You can see the CT rotation is right on that doorstep. So 3 versus 3 situation. Still a lot of work to be done in this round from Immortals. They will get that bomb down though.
Yeah, and Fells continues to do that work required, and now he's got the crosshair on Fugly. Bolt picks up the last, and Immortals will go 12-3 in the half. A absolute stomping there from Immortals. It's a shame that NRG didn't get their CT side going a little bit sooner. They had no problems getting picks. They had no problems isolating the opponents in the first 30 to 45 seconds of the round. They had mass problems shutting down map control and territory in the last sort of 30 to 40 seconds. They lost too many there, and they'll be disappointed with how they weren't given the start to each round.
Yeah, they were just simply losing the battles early on, and unfortunately, they just didn't bode too well for them. I mean, Peter, try as he might, was making things happen for NRG, and he was probably the one positive that they could take out of that half, but I mean, it's a rough drop. This was their map pick after all, so they're being given a masterclass in Overpass by Immortals at the moment. So NRG need to make this work on their T side. You would expect them to have something quite rigid, quite structured. That's definitely a telling sign of a God B team. It's just how rigidly structured they will be. And I'm keen to see what the German, or should I say Turkish, mastermind can come up with.
Yeah, originating from his country of origin, I should say, is Turkey. He spent the vast majority of his illustrious career playing in Germany with mouse sports and earning a lot of accolades there before now coming back to CSGO with NRG and making the switch to North America.
Exactly right. We followed these guys from their formation actually throughout the Canopit League, so I'm really keen to see how they've actually developed. I haven't been able to catch a lot of them recently, but I mean, since adding Tabson, I felt as though God B's felt a little bit more at home. Obviously, the results haven't followed as they've wanted, but the ESL Pro League is a fantastic chance for them to really develop themselves as a side, and I'm interested to see how they're going to integrate Fugly into this roster.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, and the funny thing about CS is that sometimes it doesn't work, and all of a sudden it starts clicking, and everything falls into place.
Oh dear, custard arm.
That isn't going to fall into place there for NRG. Is the grenade is quite short. It will be Tabson opening up the account onto Lucas, so that's a good start here. They're going to have to capitalise that Zeus and Henny combine there for one of the kills, and then it's just a complete demolition. 13-3 is the score, and NRG barely getting out of spawn before they were completely crushed.
Maybe Gobby spent a little bit too much time in North America.
His pleasant stay is over. It is now. He did go there to enjoy himself. Now it's a work. Now it's a working holiday. All of a sudden. It is hard work though when you're behind like this and you're the in-game leader trying to motivate the troops and trying to figure out a fix to maybe an unfixable problem of talent. I'm sure God B recognises the two rosters and you know what they should be capable of, given that he's played at the highest possible level of the game. He'll understand what he's up against here, and whilst he'll be disappointed with a lot of rounds, you can see the full picture.
I think that grenade is pretty much telling of NRG's escapade so far on Overpass. It really hasn't come off for them. It's been difficult. Immortals are just beating them in every aspect of the match so far. I mean, tactically, in terms of aim on aim as well, it's not working out for them. And when it's come down to those rounds, with the 2 versus 2s, the 3 versus 3s, Immortals are just simply playing them out of the map here. But God B is able to find Phelps and take him down, gaining that UMP. But you can see now Henny in a position here to do a lot of damage as they encroach on this A bomb site.
Yeah, but there's a good chance that NRG might steal this one away. A couple of headshots here for God B and Co, and they could be in with a shot. Henny picks up one. God B trades nicely, and now this is all going to be on the two players in the CT bomb site. Immortals trying to defend. It will be Bolts picking up one. He needs to do more. Can he get another one? He doesn't. God B picks up one, and then Bolts goes down. Lucas now 1 versus 1 here with Fugly. The Molotov will go onto the bomb. That's a lot of damage being sustained there by Fugly. He will get the plant. He's on 9 HP, and he's completely trapped, so this should go the way of Lucas. There's just no escape for Fugly. And while the NRG guys put in a fantastic showing on that eco, or that force pistol, I guess that's the story of the game for them. Close but no cigar on so many rounds. The score blew out, but a lot of those rounds were very, very close.
They have been close, but as I said, I think it's just the fact that Immortals on those 2 versus 2s have just been far superior.
Yep, Immortals continuing on their winning ways in the game, picking up the 14th round. They've managed to win 3-4 NRG. I guess, yeah, it's been a closer game than the score, but overall Immortals have just been vastly superior in those 3v3 situations or 3vx situations. The teamwork is just fantastic for Immortals. NRG not so much, and they'll have to try and tune that up going into the next game, because this one isn't long for this world. 3 AKs and 2 pistols now on the side of NRG, and they've really got to grind out something dirty here.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle for them, but that is a good start. Peter picking up Phelps, and now you can see they're starting to take some territory here, NRG. They've pushed Immortals out of mid, and they've had to reconsolidate. You can see that they've had a heavy concentration towards the B bomb site, and now it's a foot race to A.
Yeah, there's a CT presence here shown, but it's always behind the actual bomb site itself here. Bolts will try and make his way around into the bomb site. Gobby spots him out. Nice shot there from the in-game leader, and now Peter moves up and around that van, gets the spot out, and will pick up a rifle, but it won't mean much there. Henny trades into that frag there with Fells. Gobby gets his second for the round. This is important for him to get going. Maybe just a little leisure. Picks up one, and now Gobby will pick up a third. Sweet round there from the in-game leader from NRG, and maybe that's the spark that they needed to get going, but still such a long way to go for them, as Immortals seems to be trapped here on Eco.
Yeah, the hard reset there for Immortals as a result too, and they're actually going to buy into this round by the looks of things. So this is a dangerous round that NRG actually have to overcome, because they have that scout in play. They've got Mag 7 there on Zeus, and they've got pistols there to just potentially drag down those players that are tagged by the scout. So they've taken that scout towards long. Henny playing solo there, but the rest of the Immortals side are just pairing up.
Yeah, there's definitely safety in numbers when it comes to being behind in the arms race here in CSGO, as Peter's been tagged there with that scout. So early damage there for Henny as he gets his first bullet to hit. I'm sure we'll see more from him as the round unfolds. Bolts with that P250 just holding the close angle at long, while his teammate tries to scout out the staircase underneath. Leisure with a nice shot there onto Zeus. He was in and out of that staircase. NRG trying desperately to find something. It's just a spark here to get themselves back in the game, and it will be Fells picking up NRG Peter after the scout damage was put out at long, and that's Tapson getting one, and Godby following through as well. So finally some momentum here for NRG, and they're going to move towards that A bomb site, but they're stalling right now. They're just waiting to group up and decide together, but it looks like A.
Yeah, smart move there to just group up and take the bomb site as a whole. There are only 2 counter-terrorists remaining, so even if they trade out evenly, they've got themselves a round win, and they're very cautious given the HP of both Leisure and Godby. Also Tabson too, so it's a round that's sitting in the balance if they don't check this corner.
Yeah, this is really awkward for Bolts. That's Leisure coming through there and pre-aiming that spot. Great use of the crosshair placement. No chance there for the CT player to even get a bullet off. Immortals being pushed a little bit here right now. NRG on their own map pick, starting to find some form. They're going to drag themselves up to 14-5. And unless Immortals can start making some adjustments here, I mean, they've lost pistol and a couple of the ecos, so they'll get weapons soon enough, and we'll see what they're really made of on their CT side. But it's not over yet. NRG, if they can manage to get a bit of a roll on here, Jim, CT side can be difficult to control that money.
Speaking of rolls, we'll see Godby roll Lucas there in the playground. And I'm sure that may have been scenes from a few people's childhoods.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Immortals will choose probably an eco here, and maybe even a double if they force into that round, because they've got so many rounds to play with here, and they only need 2. So, safety here being taken by Immortals. They will eco once again. I don't think NRG will necessarily know that this will be an eco. They might have an inkling, but they don't necessarily suspect that Immortals will go full eco here.
I suspect they know that Peter has got that. He's got that UMP in his hands, and he'll be looking to try and farm some more money, because it's likely that they're going to use him with that AWP. So they're going to try and get him as the entry into a few of these sites, I suspect, just to try and farm some of that cash, that money bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, NRG should know that Immortals are eco, but because Immortals are so far ahead, they might just be buying into everything here and pushing this one. So they do have a tendency to do so and buy up and be aggressive, as we saw last round. NRG taking no chances here. Fugly mollying that one out and just playing the waiting game. We'll spot someone out in the B-bomb site, but it looks as though the attack's going to come towards A. That's a good thing, especially for NRG, because the majority of the forces for the Immortals is at the B-bomb site.
And Peter is the man on the mission. He's the one that's been tasked with investigating this A bomb site, and as inquisitive as he is, he's just looking for these frags down. He nearly walks in the crosshair of Henny. Gets that frag though, so he does get the money bonus associated with that. And now you can see that Immortals, they recognise this, and they're not too keen on pushing just yet. They're not keen on feeding that SMG, that money bonus, because they want to try and starve their opposition. They're playing the long game here, and Fugly does take down Zeus. A very deep lying lurk there from Fugly. It was a risk of being isolated, but there was no heavy rotation, luckily for him, through the spawn. So we will now see the 3 remaining Immortals just holding off on that B-bomb site.
Certainly will. 3 of them just not, as you said, giving away those kills. It's just a matter of starving the opposition of some resources, financial resources. And now, finally, the Immortals team will buy into this round. But no ult for Henny. That's interesting there. He's probably going to get aggressive. They love to do that when he's not AWPing. So we'll see what unfolds here for Immortals as they try and close this one out against NRG. But NRG finding a bit of form in their T side here on their map choice. Remember, we are doing 2 separate best of ones. It is going to be this map first, and then I believe we'll move to Train. Is the second map here? Cache. Sorry. It will be Cache is the second map here.
Or Cache if you're unfamiliar in Australian.
No, it's definitely Cache.
It is definitely Cache.
It's definitely Cache. Not cash. Cash is what you pay with groceries. Cache is the map.
Either way, there is a burning ring of fire in mid.
Well, that's Johnny Cash. That's completely different itself. But Immortals here will regroup on that A-bomb site. Fells getting nice and close to Tabson on the other side of this smoke. And common spot here, so Fells needs to be careful that he doesn't leave himself exposed so far away from home.
It's going to be rough too because he has no support at the moment from his teammates, and he's so close. If that smoke fades on him, he could be in a bit of trouble. But
even
luckily,
if he tries to run away here though.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, luckily he's actually really disciplined. Does have another smoke up his sleeve, so he's going to delay that take even further, but there's 34 seconds remaining in the round, and you can see NRG are grouping up for a hit.
Yeah, they should have known though, and he finally gets exposed there. Something must have peeked through or got through the little gap in the smoke on the left, and that's going to cost him. He was out of position for some time, but the read's going to come in here for the CTs, that this is going to be a hit. The problem is, Fugly's there waiting for the damage to come, and Bolt comes in late with the flank from Lucas. Lovely teamwork there from Immortals, and although it was Fells in mid, he didn't get the kill, but he delayed them for so long, and that allowed his teammates to eliminate the other possibilities, make the rotation, and Immortals pick up their 15th.
Yeah, I think it may have even appeared on someone's radar there through the smoke. There was enough of them around.
Yep.
But either way, you're right. He did enough to delay them in every aspect there, and it was the handiwork of Bolts in the sights that actually took down the bomb whilst it was trying to enter. So that round just went pear-shaped for NRG, and unfortunately, they find themselves here conceding match point.
Yeah, Immortals on a roll. Zeus continuing on to Leisure there with a shotgun kill, and he'll grab that AK straight away. So one step closer towards their goal here, Immortals, of closing this one out. Fells picks up Tabson. This could spell the last round of the game for NRG on their map pick. Henny there with the scope, moving towards the party. It's Fugly coming through. He might get one, but he'll get traded out straight away there. Fells in great position. The 2 players there from Immortals above and below. And now it's all left up to Peter, but I believe this one is all over. Bar the shouting, he's going to have to do something beyond miraculous here. Peter picks up the first onto Fells. And the urgency has gone up here from Immortals. They start to zone in on his location. You can see all the blue dots there circling, making sure that he doesn't have a good look. But he's actually picked up the second kill here, Peter. And with the bomb in hand, I don't think he knows the danger that awaits him in that staircase. He'll go down. It will be game point to Immortals. They've done a great job battling against the odds there against NRG on their map choice. So, fantastic performance, and they'll take a lot of confidence into their map pick on Cache.
But it was a dominant performance from start to finish there, and NRG, they weren't really given any wiggle room at all, and when they were given that hard reset, so their economy never got going. Despite Peter's best efforts with that AWP to really open things up, you could see that the team play from Immortals was what really won them those rounds, and it unfortunately blows out for NRG on that first map, but they still have the second map to redeem themselves, so hopefully doing a little bit better on Cache.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Very, very difficult for them to come back from this. So we should expect that the Immortals guys will head onto their map choice and give them the business once again. There was a clear difference in skill for me in regards to the preparation in the teams and the chemistry. Not necessarily the individual shooting ability of each player, but certainly from a team perspective, they seem to have the number of NRG there, especially in those 3v6 situations. But Jim, before we go into Cache, we might just take a very, very short break, and we'll be back with map 2 of the series in just a moment.